All right. So in this class, we will be doing our modified sun salutations with the chair. I'm going to repeat what I said earlier when I wasn't recording. And so if you're doing this with the chair, you'll want to push your chair up against the wall or use a big, strong piece of furniture because we will be putting some pressure on the chair or the furniture. And you can also go to the wall to do that part of the sequence. And I'll repeat that again once we get to it. But we warm up the same way we usually do, by sitting up nice and tall in our chairs. Taking a few deep breaths. Maybe let yourself sigh. Relaxing your hands. Relaxing your face. A little space between your back teeth. Opening your jaw just a little. And just do a quick body scan and notice if you're holding tension anywhere in your body, your neck, your shoulders, your back. Maybe it's your belly or your hips. Just kind of move gently. Noticing where your tight spots are today. And then settle back into your breath. We're going to start our movement today with spinal rotations. Let's do that slowly and mindfully, turning your torso to the right and allowing your chin to lead the way down towards your right knee, down towards the front, and then back up on the left side. And so we're going to exhale as we come down. Inhale as we come up. Nice and slow, synchronizing with your breath. One more time in this direction. Come up to neutral pause. Turn your torso to the left, and we'll start with an exhale. So exhaling as you come down towards your left knee to the front, and then inhaling back up on the right side. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. You can close your eyes if you like. Helps you to stay focused. One more time. And then when you come up to neutral, pause again. Relax your hands and your arms. And then start to round your back into cat pose. And just make a little bit of a roundedness. You don't want to come into your full cat pose yet. We're just warming up. So you can start to feel your spine starting to open up. And then on your next inhale, lift up to neutral and exhale into cow pose, arching your back, lifting your chest, letting your head drop back slightly. Now let's move in and out of cat-cow with our breath. Inhaling to neutral and exhaling to cat. Inhaling to neutral and exhaling to cow. So you're moving with your breath. Inhaling as you make the transition and exhaling into each pose. One more time. You feel complete. Go ahead and come back to neutral and let your back rest. Relax your hands and your arms again. And then bring your arms down by your sides. We're going to shift the focus now to our wrists. And nice and slow, make some circles with your hands. And reverse. And turn your palms so they face up towards the ceiling. Spread your fingers out. And then close your fingers. Make a fist. And then open and close. Open and close. Warm it up your finger joints. It's fluid moving into your little finger joints. And then shake your hands out. All right. And let's bring our arms back down by our sides. And with the smallest movement you can make, try to slide your shoulder blades down your back and squeeze them in closer to each other. So you're just arching your back just a little bit. Focusing on your upper back. And then on your next inhale, raise your arms up and exhale down to your heart and pause. And once your hands are at your heart, press your hands together. Create a little bit of tension here in your hands and your arms. That pressure between your hands, pressing your hands up into the air. Look up, reach up. And then on your next exhale, bend your elbows and bring your hands back to your heart. Back to your shoulders. Release the tension in your hands. All right. Now we're going to do a Qigong movement followed by a side stretch. So we're going to move heaven and earth. So before we do any Qigong movements, we want to get some Qi in our hands. Rub your hands together. And eat. You might just call it energy or electricity. Qi means energy. So for moving heaven and earth, we start with the left palm facing up, elbows bent, right palm facing down. Your elbows stay bent, they're never straight. And so press your left arm up and your right arm down. And then bring your hands back in front of you. Let your palms pass each other. Right arm up, left arm down. And now let's see if we can inhale as our palms pass. Exhale, we reach and press. Still keeping our elbows slightly bent. Moving the air around you. Inhale. Exhale. The next time your left arm comes up, leave it up there. Bring your right hand down to your thigh and lean to the left. Sorry, lean to the right. So you're stretching out your left side. Breathe into it. Imagine you could expand your left side. Every time you inhale, you expand. And every time you exhale, you contract. We're just warming up the left side. More breath. And then raise your right arm up. Let your palms pass again. Left hand comes down, right arm comes up, and we lean to the left. Take a few breaths. More breath. And one more time. Lift your left arm up, bring your right arm down, bring your palms together and down to your heart. And relax your shoulders. And take a few breaths. All right. So if you haven't already, go ahead and slide forward in your chair. We're going to move into spinal twist next. We're going to keep our hands at our hearts. We're going to divide the twist up into 3 parts. So let the tips of your thumbs touch your chest and keep your chin lined up with your fingertips. And then when you're ready, turn gently to the right. So about 30%. So you will know when you're about 30% because you'll just start to feel a little bit of resistance. And take a few breaths. If you're having a casual conversation with someone, you're turning gently towards them. Now on your next inhale, come back to center and exhale, turn gently to the left. Keeping your chin lined up with your fingertips. Take a few breaths. Again, on an inhale, let's come back to center. And this time when we exhale, we're moving just a little bit more to the right. You might consider this 50%. You feel a little more resistance. You feel your body starting to open up just a little bit more. Take a few breaths. And then on our next inhale, we'll come back to center and exhale to the left, 50%. Taking a few breaths. And then we'll inhale back to center. And this time, as we exhale, we move all the way around to the right, releasing our arms down and twisting from the waist. So you can feel your right side open up. And keep your chin lined up with your chest. We're not turning our heads. Really focused on our ribs and our bellies and our backs. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, come on back to center. Exhale to the left. Finding your twist on this side. One more breath. All right, when you're ready, inhale back to center. And then we're going to roll our shoulders nice and slow. Okay, so now we're ready for forward fold, which we're going to combine with cat and cow. I'm going to turn sideways, but you can stay facing forward. I just do this for demonstration. So we start in a forward fold, hinging at the hips, keeping your back as flat as you can, not rounding or arching yet. Your head is in line with your spine, your neck is in neutral. We're not looking up or looking down, we're just looking at whatever's in front of us. Take a couple more breaths. Now, before we come up, we're going to move into cow pose. Push your belly down and forward, lift your shoulders, press your chest forward as you lift up in cow pose. And then once you come up, round your back into cat pose. And then continue back down into forward fold, flattening your back. So as we come up, we're arching into cow pose. Once we get up, we're rounding into cat pose. And then coming back down into forward fold with a flat back. And if you want to synchronize with your breath, you might find it's natural to inhale as you're coming up, making space for your breath. And then exhale as you round your back into cat pose and come back down. See if that works for you. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Done a couple more times. And the next time you come into forward fold, go ahead and stay there. Now, don't come all the way up. Just lift yourself up just enough so that you release any tension in your back. We're going to add a twist here. So take your right arm and slide it down inside your right leg so that your elbow braces inside your right knee. And then take your left hand to your hip and press your left shoulder back. And you won't be able to go too far. The goal is not to go far. The goal is to find a nice twist here. And take a few breaths. Again, your neck is in neutral. We always want to protect our necks. We have an injury in yoga, it's almost 50% of the time is in the neck. Sometimes it's the shoulders or the hips or the back. Your neck is very vulnerable. You want to really pay attention to your neck. All right, on your next exhale, rotate your left chest, left shoulder down and forward. Lift up slightly, and then slide your left arm down inside your left leg. Right hand to your hip. Right shoulder rotates back slightly. Just enough to feel a little twist. Take another breath or two. And when you're ready, rotate your right shoulder, right chest forward. Bring both hands to your thighs and use your arms to lift yourself up. And pause. Maybe move your torso around, maybe some more spinal rotations. Just loosening up, maybe rolling your shoulders, moving your head. We're going to be standing up in just a minute. So take your time coming up to standing when you're ready. And this is a good time to position your chair near a wall or a heavy piece of furniture, or maybe just move your whole body to that part of the room. And once you find yourself in mountain pose, take a minute and check in. Check in with your body. You'll notice that we've warmed up our upper bodies. We haven't done much with our legs. So let's just take a minute here and notice the difference. How does your upper body feel when you compare it to your lower body? Are your legs crying? Are they saying, wait a minute, what about us? Just notice. We'll take care of that. All right, let's begin our leg warm up. But first, let's inhale up overhead and exhale down to your heart. Grounding yourself, setting an intention to stay present in your own body with your own breath. All right, so we're gonna start with a calf stretch. Facing your chair, pressing your right foot back, and then pressing into your heel. So if you're near a wall, you can have your hands on the wall or your furniture. You're going to start to move now. So shift forward, bend your right knee and flex your right foot. We've done this before. This should feel familiar. Pretty soon we're going to be moving forward in that. Now press your right leg behind you into a modified warrior 3, pressing into your heel. And then inhale, bend your knee, bring your leg in front of you, lift your thigh, and exhale, press back into warrior 3. You're inhaling forward, exhaling back. Good way to warm your legs up. Get your hips moving. You got 2 more times. And when you come into warrior 3 again, pause, really press into your heel. And release. Shake your legs out. And we'll repeat on the left side. So step your left foot back, press into your heel, bending your right knee. Your torso is upright. And you really are focused on pressing into your left heel. Right. So now we're going to shift forward. Bend your left knee and flex your left foot. And pause here. And you'll feel a little too close to the chair. You may need to adjust. And then press your left foot behind you, left leg behind you, and hold. And then let's do that again. Inhaling as you come forward, lift your thigh. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Breathing in. Breathing out. Let's do that 2 more times. When we come to warrior 3 again, let's pause there. And release. Shake your legs out. Pat your hips, thighs, your knees. Maybe pat your low back. Okay. So now we've entered the work phase of our yoga practice today. And if you remember our chair flow, what we're getting ready to do is just like the chair flow, except we're adding a couple more poses here. So you want to stand close enough to your chair that you can reach it, but not so close that you're going to hit your head when you come down. So we start in mountain pose. Same goes with the wall or the furniture. I just happen to be using a chair. When you're ready, inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, lean back and lift your chest. Then take a few breaths. On your next inhale, come back up to neutral. Exhale into airplane pose, hinging at the hips, keeping your knees soft, belly is tight, and head is in line with your spine. Next is forward fold. So in forward fold, you can have your hands on your thighs, the chair, your shins, the floor. Wherever they land is fine. You just want to bring your belly, your torso closer to your thighs. Your back starting to loosen up. One more breath. And then when you're ready to come up, bend your knees as if you were coming up into chair pose, but bring your hands to your chair. Step your left foot forward and then step your right foot way back into a lunge. So your right heel is off the floor. Your left knee is directly over your left ankle. Now, if you need to bring it back a little, you can straighten your leg a little, but don't bring your knee in front of your ankle. That puts too much pressure on your knee. so far, this is all familiar. These are poses we've done before. All right, so here's the challenge. You might want to bring your right foot forward a little bit. We're coming into plank next. So push into your chair, the wall, or the furniture, and then step your left foot back. And you'll notice your bottom wants to poke out. Press your pelvis down so you're like a nice strong plank. This is plank pose. And then take a couple of small steps forward and lower your chest down into downward facing dog. One more breath. And now bend your knees. We're going to come up into chair pose. So lift your arms down in front of you, knees are bent, belly is pulled in. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, palms together, down to your heart. And relax your shoulders. And we're back in mountain pose. All right. If you need to adjust where you are so that we can do the same thing on the other side, maybe move towards your chair, maybe move away. We're going to do the same sequence just on the other side. When you're ready, inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, lean back and lift your chest. One more breath. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hinge at the hips into airplane pose. Remember your options for your arms. You can have your arms reaching out like an airplane. Hands can be resting on your low back or on your hips. And then forward fold, remembering again your arm position, hands on your thighs, shins, the chair, or the floor. Hinging at the hips. It's a really important part of our forward fold is we're hinging at the hips. We're not leaning forward or trying to get our hands to the floor by bending our knees more. We're really focused on our hips, low back. And again, imagine you're coming up into chair pose, bending your knees, but then bringing your hands to your chair or the wall. Step your right foot forward and your left foot way back into a lunge. You know from here we're going into plank. So see if you can adjust yourself so that feels a little more accessible. And the key to plank pose is using your core muscles. That's what it's for. It's for strengthening your core, your belly, your sides, and your back. And it feels like you're working your arms, and you are, but if you're using your core muscles, you're supporting your arms and your shoulders. So let's try that again. Step your right foot back to meet your left foot. Notice if your bottom wants to poke out. And then very gently just press your pelvis forward. It really helps to have a mirror when you're doing this so you can see your posture. But if your belly is shaking, you're doing it right. And then for downward facing dog, take a couple small steps forward and hinge at the hips again. Breaths. And then one more chair pose. Go ahead and bend your knees and lift your arms, lift your torso into chair pose. And again, using your core muscles. And a few breaths. All right, let's inhale up, exhale, palms together, down to your heart. Relax your shoulders. And take a few breaths. Go ahead and shake your legs, shake your arms. And if you're doing this as a recording, you're doing this on your own, you have time, you can pause the recording and practice that again. You can do it as many times as you want. Once you're in the recording on your own device, you've got the freedom to do more or less. So that's always up to you. Go ahead and shake your legs out. Let's do one Qigong movement before we come back to our chairs. And today it's going to be passing clouds. So take a wide stance, start to move side to side, and rub your hands. Next time we come to the right side, let's pause. Your right palm comes up, your left palm faces down. You're looking at your right palm to start with. And then as you inhale, move to the left. Exhale, palms pass, and you move back to the right. I don't watch my hands. I know what they're doing. I know where they are. If I watch my hands, I get dizzy. So see if you can just let your eyes sort of wander across the room as you're making this movement. This is good multitasking here. This is good for your brain. Inhaling on one side. Exhaling on the other side. Next time we come to the left side, let's pause there. So your left palm is up and your right palm is down. And then the first time we move to the right, we don't move our arms. Our arms move with our bodies. Inhale to the right. Palms pass. Exhale to the left. One more time. Go back to center. Let your hands rest on your belly, relaxing your shoulders. Deep breaths. Just imagine sending good healing energy into your belly. The gate of life. Then we'll step back to mountain pose, bringing our arms down by our sides, and 3 times we're going to ground all this energy. Inhaling up, exhaling as you press down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. One more time. Arms down by your sides. Move your fingers, move your wrists, move your feet, your shoulders. Move around just a little bit, and then make your way back to your chair. Again, if you're doing this as a recording, don't skip this last part. This is as important as any pose or any sequence that we do, this final relaxation. This is the icing on the cake of yoga. So relax your hands. Let your hands rest on your legs. Move around a little if you need to, so that you can really settle. And close your eyes. Allow the chair to support you. Allow your body to soften. Let go of effort. For the next 2 minutes, it's just you and your breath. When you feel ready, start to deepen your breath. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. And as you do that, maybe start to move your hands or your feet, or your head, your shoulders. Start to bring yourself back. And then we're going to end our class with a sense of gratitude towards ourselves. So go ahead and rub your hands one more time. And then reach your arms out to the sides, inhaling up and exhaling down to your heart and thanking yourself for giving yourself this gift of yoga. Namaste.